do Brasil, como é que vocês estão? Nosso terceiro vídeo, nossa terceira entrevista, e dessa vez com o nosso queridíssimo Devin. Say hello, Devin.
Hi, how are you? Olá.
Oh, good job, good job.
É.
O Devin é o dono da marca mais charmosa que todos nós, Islanders fans, conhecemos e amamos. Yes Man Outfitters. Bom, se você faz parte do NHL Twitter e você faz parte da nossa fanbase, né? Você provavelmente já viu os designs maravilhosos e as camisetas perfeitas que eles fazem. Você provavelmente tem muita vontade de comprar, né? Quem sabe a gente consegue desenrolar em um precinho bom, né, Devin? Mas, enfim, nós vamos fazer algumas perguntas para eles. E as redes sociais do Devin vão estar todas aqui na descrição para vocês também. Vamos começar com a entrevista e eu espero que vocês gostem. Okay. Again, thank you so much for being here today and, sharing your time with us. I would like to start with the basics, right?
Okay.
How did you start cheering for the Islanders and what's your story with the team?
Okay, so I'm born and raised on Long Island. I live very close to the Nassau Coliseum. And my family's business, they're plumbers. And they had season tickets to the team while I was growing up, and they would share the tickets with each other. So we would go to a lot of games just growing up, and because I live very close to the Coliseum and I'm from Long Island and everything, and we went to a lot of games. That's how I took on the team, and yeah, that just living very close and having the tickets.
It's a family thing.
Yes, just
Great.
like everything. Yeah.
So about your clothing line, what's the story behind your business and how did the idea of making everything about the Isles come up?
Right. So I was making t-shirts for a living for somebody else, like contract. So sports teams like high schools and businesses and stuff like that. And I just started designing on my computer ideas if I were to make stuff, based around Long Island and hockey and all that. And because I also do my own design. And so I would show people and they were like, oh, that's a good idea. You should sell it and stuff like that. And finally I had come up with enough that I felt I could do well enough with. So I would work during the day and then my boss would leave and then I would print the stuff, go back inside and print everything. And I was selling things on a website that I made secretly. My boss didn't know. And then it got more and more popular. And then one day we got very popular very quickly with one particular shirt. And then I had to tell my boss because I no longer had time to do my work that day. I had to print the shirts that I had made and it had gone viral. And so it just started growing from there and it got more and more popular and I started the Twitter and the Twitter did very, very well. And it just started growing from there. And now I'm able to do it as my full-time job.
Do you remember which t-shirt design was that?
Yeah, it was the one that said the kid who won the Calder after John Tavares left. I made a t-shirt because everybody wanted a negative, like something to make fun of something. And I don't like doing that unless it's about the Rangers. I don't like, I'll never make fun of somebody else on a t-shirt. I think it's about being uplifting and fun and rooting for somebody as opposed to getting under somebody's skin or annoying them. So I made a t-shirt that was, something positive about our team as opposed to something negative about somebody else. And it went viral very quickly. And I had to tell my boss, no more. I have to work on this now. So.
What a great story. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, you mentioned your designs, so talking about them, tell us a little bit about your creative process because I mean, we all love your designs. Your
Yeah.
t-shirts are like amazing. We all want one here in Brazil.
Yeah.
And how do you think about all of those beautiful designs, drawings, and everything?
Thank you. Yeah. So I listen to music. I listen to like rock and hardcore music and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of fashion that's intertwined with that. And there's a process, there's a creative process and stuff. And I was just talking about this to someone yesterday. I like thinking of things with feeling and emotion and fun, you know, like good, heavy. It's about culture. It's about Long Island. You know, I think it's very funny where, you know, you have a team named after a very plain place of the world. I don't think there's like a it's very hard to define what being an Islander is. I mean, the one time they tried to do it, Danilo's wearing the jersey. The one time they tried to give us a mascot, everybody hated it. So it's very difficult to find the culture, but because I live here and I understand what people think of us and the little nuances and the cool little stuff, I'm able to put it on a t-shirt and people understand it like it's things that you would get if you're a fan of this team or even somebody that lives here, or even like you guys, people that don't live here. It feels good to connect with you guys on a level creatively like that.
Well,
Amazing.
personally, I like the fisherman. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had a problem with it. And what I try to tell people is when I was born and when I was a fan of the team, that was the logo. As much as what I can remember, that was my first jersey. That was the logo. Those were the colors growing up. So it was never wrong to me. So I never understand why people get so angry.
Devin, I have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
You talked about fishermen, and in that man outfitters designs, you have a skull. I think it's Goreton, the name.
Goreton, yes.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know if my friends see, but it's inspired in fishermen, right?
Yes. Yes. So I'm not sure if you guys know the story behind the fisherman, but there's a brand when it came out to mock the team. There's a brand of treats here, fish sticks, and their logo was a fisherman, and it was Goreton's fish sticks. So people used to make fun of him and call him Goreton because he looked like the fish stick guy.
Let's go fish sticks. I know this history.
Right. Yeah. Right. So
Ranger fans talking
correct.
about it.
So I made a skeleton version of him, and gore like gory, like a gory movie, and Goreton, that's why his name is Goreton, like gory like a movie, and he's a skeleton. That's why I made that. Yeah.
Amazing.
we have a mastermind here, okay? We have a creative mind
Thank
with
you.
us today. Okay, now about the relationship between your business and the IELTS community. Tell us about, you know, the reaction of the community, how they recepted your idea.
So in the beginning, you said it's family, right? Right? And that is like that with everything and everybody, everything that we do. It's a very, very tight-knit community. So when I started, I made a lot of friends with a lot of people who were starting their own businesses based around hockey at the same time. So I had a lot of very close friends. So Offside Tavern, Nick from Offside Tavern, the bar that was in Manhattan, had just kind of begun. So I would go there and we would talk about events to do and if he would sell stuff there. Donald Rosner from Blue Line Deli, he started at Bagel Boss. So when we had pre-game events, he would offer bagels to me to give to people, which was an amazing gesture. The brewery from the start asked me to help them promote and market the Barn Rocker beer that they make for the team. And now I work in their basement. My whole operation is in the basement of the brewery for them. They've offered me a position to do that, and I help them with their marketing. So every person that's in the community just responds positively. They just love the pride and helping one another and doing amazing things. And in turn, we try to give back as much as we can too. In the beginning of the pandemic, Donald from Blue Line Deli was donating food to the healthcare workers, and I sold towels to help fund that, to give him money so he could do that. We've run countless fundraisers for players on the team's fundraisers. We've run fundraisers when Offside Tavern was around to help give money to them. So we all help one another consistently and for the greater good, and it's a really good feeling to know that this team is more than just, you know, a hobby. It's a lifestyle for many of us.
Yes, we talked to Donald as well, and he also mentioned you. So it's great to see like this amazing connection between all the fans, especially in Long Island, you know. Now regarding the team, what was the most memorable connection / action you have ever had with the IELTS organization?
It had to be just this year. I mean, every year has gotten bigger and more fun. I know last postseason was amazing, but we couldn't help but think, you know, how cool it would be to actually be at those games. And we were all kind of apart but together. I know that's how I met and was introduced to you guys was last season, because we were so focused on social media and watching the games together without, and that's where I found Brazil. So that was an amazing thing. But this year, definitely the parties that we had and the fun that we had and being in that building, overtime goals in the playoffs to win, like it's just, it gives me goose like chills right now thinking about the fun that we had and hoping that we get to have it even more, and you know, singing in the parking lot when we won and standing on top of the ambulance and having all that fun, and it's
I
amazing.
want that.
Yes, you have to ask about this ambulance. This ambulance is iconic, bro.
Yes, yeah. So when I started doing the tailgates before the games, I have a very small car. And I never expected a lot of people to show up. I mean, I just put out there that we were having a tailgate. I thought maybe 10, 15 people would show up, but since we've started it, it's grown and grown and grown and grown, and I've needed more and more stuff, and I drive a very small car. So, you know, I only live 10, 15 minutes from the stadium, but I would drive like this because I had so much stuff on me. So we were trying to figure out what, like, a bigger thing that we could bring. And I'm in the fire department at home. I'm a local firefighter. So
Wow.
we just thought that a lot of people, you have to get rid of ambulances because they have to get updated, but nobody buys an ambulance, right? So we had access to one, and they sold it to us. So we bought it, and we wrapped the side of it in vinyl, and we started bringing it, and it's just become like a lighthouse, so to speak, where people know where to go and hang out and enjoy themselves, and it's a lot of fun. It's a huge help, and everything is great.
So, wow, I would never imagine that one day I would be here saying things like, I want to get on top of an ambulance.
Yeah.
I want to do that, you know?
No, it's fun.
That's amazing. And now the $1 million question, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine that the IELTS would be so famous and so loved in a country like Brazil?
No, not at all. It took me a while to figure out. First of all, I am so proud of you guys. That there is like some sort of love for a team that, I'm going to be honest with you guys, not many people love in the country that it's in. There's not a lot of, it's not even close to the biggest team anywhere. So to have support in a country you would never expect is such a beautiful thing, one. And I have to admit too, when I first saw the Twitter, I thought it was people of Brazilian descent in the United States. I didn't know you guys were located actually in Brazil, which made it even funnier because I think, and I don't know if Danilo remembers this, but I messaged him and asked for an address. And when he said, I'm in Brazil, I'm like, okay. So I tried, I did try sending a box of stuff to you guys, and it came back 3 months later. So so it said, I don't know, I must have typed in the address wrong, but you guys are amazing. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for what you guys do.
No, thank you.
It's really glad for us being part of this family. Like you said, Long Island family, you with Donald Rosner, guys in Northside Tavern and on. Have a great friendship, and now the IELTS meetup growing, not only in New York or in Brazil, but in Charlotte, in California, and Boston. You can see now the Islanders meetups growing a lot. Maybe it's because the team playing very well this last 4 seasons. I don't know, but the Islanders family are growing. This is amazing.
Absolutely. And you guys are a really, really big part of it, because if I can tell somebody that they're important enough to be loved in Brazil, then you can love them anywhere in the United States. And Michael Ryan, the Charlotte group that does the meetups, has done an amazing job of spreading it everywhere. And you can say that because the team is doing well, that people are starting to take notice. But what I do want to point out to people is that it's not just the team doing well. It's because the fan base is a family and knows how to have fun, real fun, because you want to be on our side because we have a good time. You guys have seen the videos, and, you know, like our goal is that we have an event. If you bring a friend, that friend, even if they don't like hockey, will enjoy themselves regardless of whether they know what's going on or not. And they want to come back, and that's what makes a fan.
Brazilian energy. I'll have to say this again. Exactly. You guys have Brazilian energy. Okay, so for the last question about the 2020-2021 season, what's the feeling after such an intense season? I mean, share some beautiful words with your Brazilian fellas about the last season.
Absolutely. Well, they've only done better every year, right? I mean, they've been at least one game better last year. So they're going to have to make it to the next round next year. And you know what that means, right? And I don't know. I just have a very, very strong confidence in the coach and the way that the team is run and the outlook on the team. And they haven't lost anybody major, and they're gonna get better. That's what I feel like. So, you know, we have a new place to play in. It's still on Long Island. People are gonna be charged up for the year, and they win big games. Barry Trotz will never let them come in and be down for a game they need to win. So far, the last couple of years, they've won the ones they need to win. So I feel like this year they're gonna take the next step.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bro, when you will make the capybara shirt, the guy's asking.
Capybara shirt?
Yeah.
We'll hook it up. We'll make one. Don't worry. We'll get it going. We'll get that going. I'll shoot you guys a design.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's who we are, right? We are
a bunch of
capybaras.
Oh, yeah, the capybara. Yeah, absolutely. Every meetup group has a logo, so why not you guys? You guys need your own capybara shirt.
I mean, we could have chosen the jaguar because we have a lot of jaguars here in Amazonia. Right. But no, why? We had to choose a capybara, you know? Right. It's cuter. It's like a gigantic dog. It's a gigantic.
It's chubby, which is very cute.
Yes, exactly.
It's like the
Yeah,
jaguars.
hamster.
It's like like people would love the capybara. Like you could hang out with a jaguar, but you're gonna live with a capybara. You can't live with a jaguar.
Great, great phrase. We're gonna
Yeah,
use that.
Right?
Are
You can-
good luck for us. I'm sure. We go to the 2 consecutive conference finals because of capybara.
It's being talked about every year. It's obvious.
It's not because Luke Morello and Barry Trot. It's only because of the capybara.
1,000%. We talk about it all the time at the tailgates. It's the capybara central.
Of
We
course
looked
you
into
do.
getting one. You could rent them out and bring them to the party.
Yes, you can actually.
Yeah.
Here in Brazil, they live in the wild, and if you go to any park, you will see a lot of capybaras, like just hanging out with their friends. They
Yeah.
are kind of friendly, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
They have
guys
an
can have a
awesome name.
capybara.
Capybara is an awesome name, so they can't be not friendly. There's no way you would have named something not friendly capybara.
Yes, you're 100% right. Thank you so much for being here with us today, answering our questions and listening to our words,
Love it.
They are Vamos Islanders.
Yes, and say please, Vamos Islanders.
Vamos Islanders.
Very good.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin.
Muito obrigada por terem assistido até aqui. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado. E, enfim, se inscrevam no canal, ativem o sininho de notificação, deixem um comentário se vocês tiverem gostado de alguma parte. E não esqueçam de seguir a gente no Twitter, no Instagram. E escutar o nosso podcast. Vai estar tudo aqui na descrição. Vão seguir o Yasmin Outfitters lá no Twitter também. Eles têm uma conta super fofinha. Vão lá checar as camisetas deles. Vai estar aqui na descrição também, porque a Clarinha é a nossa salvadora, não é mesmo? E eu acho que é isso. Mais uma vez, muito obrigada por todos vocês que ficaram até aqui. Deem sugestões se vocês quiserem ver alguém aqui, né? Vai que a gente consegue. E é isso. Um beijo no coração de vocês e let's go, Islanders. Quer dizer, bora, Islanders!